he buried his brother in the martyrs cemetery. He says that everyone is stoked that Palestine is being liberated. He says that he just wants to be in a cave, surrounded by trees, 10 million miles away from people. And Yaqub. Borders are borders. Are borders. But they were borders in 2006, and it seems that the sound barrier is still made to be broken. His family is packing for evacuation, and he's building a Roman civilization with a joint and a cup of tea and a turtle named Atlas, who's nibbling on his toes. The Talmud and the Quran both say that if you kill one person, it's as if you had killed all of humanity. And scholars say that an eye for an eye could be better read. But on one side of a border, two people become 2,000. And I know it's not black and white, it never has been, and it never will be. It has been, and it will be blood red. And Yaqub has his little wooden cat. Yaqub, أحبك مشتاق كتير. بس كتير.
Voice parted back in sorrow breath. It didn't work. She says it takes time. I say it's been 2 years. I go to school, I try to forget, but I see your face in every man, your stride in every step, your voice in every sound. I write some poetry, think it'll drown you out, but I'm the one drowning today. And yeah, I didn't drown my honest trench, but I drowned anyway. I twist my tongue to fit your native, I twist my accent to fit your native tongue, and even though I have not heard your voice in 2 years, she says maybe I should write a letter to you. Pull the suffocating weight off my chest and throw it on some paper and mail it away. I look at the purple unicorn sat in your place. I think about sending that letter, finding a way to feel better, yet I cling to this weight. The idea of hurting with it is too much to take. So this anger is a gift. And maybe it was a gift from the devil, but it was a gift nonetheless. The world may see this raptor anger as dangerous and wrong, but this anger is a winged voice building in my chest, chanting to the world my righteous declaration. I have sipped God's poison, I refuse to let anyone else be tarnished by its taste. I look at your purple companion, and I somehow find myself hoping you find peace. I can't imagine how tarnished your life must be, holding on to all that hatred for people like me.
On holding pain and no control, a love between the disturbed and the disturbance. In the fashion era of brown people with afros and dreadlocks, living with the quintessential brown belief, all life is sacred. Sorry, scared. I had loved the mischievous shaking of my waist-length locks in front of other faces. Our first encounter felt chilling and sacrosanct when the first little visitors came, terrified because they could sting, winged stingers. Sacred, hoping to heaven that's how they saw me, subconscious register. Visiting my locks, amenable. In a post-partied, drug-fizzled gaze, bright lights that hover, droning surround sound. A drone that tingles in the extremities. Sacred, huh? Conscious register. The passing out was huge. More than a day, more days. No. Awake, I knew they needed space, and my locks was theirs. No place for fingertips to reach in. Itch will stay. State. They moved with me as a personal cloud. The scared bit kept me moving in light hours, and during dark hours sitting and fleetingly napping in chairs. This malleable rhythm they emphasized as fate or lot. Their construct, a nest, had direct crackly drum beats to my brain. Could feel it sometimes, soft, blind, then crinkly within a day. Growth was exponential, queen-based. Round, she took me. King of pain. potential of torment, way past dimensional, threat value of pain, high enough to disassociate, very conscious, cerebral cortex sleeplessly engaged with a fear factor driven motive to repeatedly disengage. Isolation in the extreme, hovering, intimate and intimidating cloud kept others at bay. Touch not possible, placebo of sweet nourishment, grub food, the hive lip dribbled down my face, a lip smacking curtailed choice, a deed, what else, Mephistophelian. Level of existence raised but can't be conveyed. Each worker disentangled and claimed a hair strand. Airborne throng suspends me in flower fields. No more hand passed down their need for fragrance. Lilies a favorite, roses needed to be wild kind. Manuka became fantasy stuff. That overriding memory of all womanly spell. Will I ever breed a ship with a strange sail? Nose sniffing the wrong, tail, trail. Honey lace swarming umbrella takes me places. Unfinished scalping, I hold pain. Scale not quantifiable, content not definable. Control, why, for. This is how I live. Seen others in a state, choose the demon, it, them, or me. So that was one. Here's a short one on a lighter note. Tumbleweed Discourse. Groggy dog, this bus. The couple marched. The road smirked, the tar on it slithered under their foot. Grog is God's brain food, makes the puss lips smile. Nether lips, doggy dog, not a word from the upper lips. More a slur, gift to each other, incomprehension in speech, step in step, in tumbleweed, adrift on plains, vastness in pissed puss, life revealed. Thank you.
Majesty's breasts.
Oh, yeah.
She was me, and they mine. I thought of them today, my mother's breasts, and specifically the nipples that fed me, while reading the morning paper and the news of Queen Elizabeth's funeral. What were the Queen's breasts like? I imagine them also small and firm, upstanding, of course, with gumdrop nipples that, should they catch cold, necessitated insulating, lest the English Queen be too exposed as a woman. I didn't suffer a mother thus bound and preoccupied with propriety. Perhaps that's why Charles's eyes seemed to so long for a suckle. To have the Queen Mother expose the very top shortbread round, even if she did coolly avert her gaze at the pathetic puckering boy. But not my mother. She is Ukrainian. Her body was like the rest of the stuff in the world, under the sun as any other living thing. I can say now that small breasts do not exist separately from the woman. They do not flop out toward you like big boobs. You have to go to them to get close, right up next to the whole body of the woman, and latch on to the hard core of her, as if sucking from her heart. Did the Queen enjoy, perhaps despite herself, the hungry pull of a wet mouth on her swollen nipples, and how her son craved her juiciness? How confusing it might have gotten. My mother walked the house naked, her hairy triangle at head height, and mysterious. Unlike the tassels of the king's robe that were my dad's swinging penis and scrotum. Did the Queen ever look at her vulva, skip naked through the family rooms at Balmoral? Was it as bushy as my hippie mother's? Or was it locked away like an embarrassed inbred cousin? Did she ever succumb to the warmth of carnal hunger like a maidservant or fishmonger for dashing Phillips's stiff back and Roman nose? The Queen is dead. God save the Queen. They say she lived for duty, a steady hand over 7 decades, a model of sacrifice for the commons. Well, then, children of England, I say, cast her bronze in ecstasy. floating heavenward, head thrown back, a child's lips at one nipple, fingers pinching the other, and the free hand clutching her vulva. We owe her that much.
So, I don't know if anybody's gone to the museum to see the Angkor Wat exhibit. Are you? Well, when I was 22, I actually went to Cambodia, and I was one of the first people that were allowed into Kampuchea during the Khmer Rouge regime. And this is about a tour of the elite detention center. Terror at Tuol, Sleng, Kampuchea, 1990. In the midday stillness of humidity, a white and green colonial oasis beckons. Once, a vibrant, vital sanctuary of knowledge and ideas. Now, a vanguard of silent horror and remembrance. As I begin my march to the killing fields, I approach a false sense of tranquility. Amongst the gently swaying palms, a cacophony of phantoms howl. Despite my sensory objections, I plod forward in spectral footsteps, into the cool darkness of relief, welcomed by walls papered, by ghostly faces. How many thousands before me felt the dichotomy of peace and terror, betrayed by our faith and hope that this surreal dream must end hospitably. But faith nudges me towards myself, past the art, illustrating all those before me, their impending dooms, all hope eternal to be slaughtered. A kaleidoscope of odors hung, in the afternoon breeze permeating from the schoolroom window. Death, the cloying ambiguity of torture, as I enter my blood-stained reprieve. A cell of 3 by 5 feet, cinder block walled, decorated by the suffering fluids of my predecessor. A 5-star residence, exclusive from my pedigree. How fortunate can I be winning this lottery? In iron shackles, ankles are yoked, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The piecemeal walls a luxury to dissociate from reality. A final summon from authority arouses me to my next journey. A glimmer of unknown possibility awaits. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Billie Holiday's classic Strange Fruit. This is an homage. Strange Fruit, Canada, 2023. Strange fruit, decomposing under urban trees, barren of leaves, only outstretched metal arms. Strange fruit, unwanted, kicked and trodden. The bouquet of rot offends the civilized nose. Charting straight ahead like Titanic with unknown deadly consequence, citizens avoid eye contact, the passive savagery. This is City Hall at work. Get a job. This is not my problem. How did this come to be, our tree more strong and free? Once, we were humanitarians to the world. Water pumps, electric and nuclear plants bore the maple leaf. Our robotic arm even flexes in space. Now, we import new and exotic fruit, exciting, fresh and novel, markets scramble to obtain, while our native fruit festers as an open wound, largely scorned, crying inside, crying outside. Are there any hawkers left for our strange fruit?